Hey, everybody, what's up? My name is Fred Moore. What's the name of this podcast? Well, I had a podcast called The Freedom Variant, um, and I might just continue calling it The Freedom Variant. I was also thinking of starting a new one and going with something like Account Warning because my social media, I keep getting account warnings because I'm posting things that are inappropriate to Zuckerberg. And basically that I'm tired of seeing the account warning thing. So what I'm doing here is trying to break in like a new format here where I'm talking about news and media and patriotic points of view, stuff like that. And I'm gonna play this clip and we're gonna see how this goes. And I'm gonna play this clip and then I'm gonna say things. Hang on.
The fifth wave of feminism is here, and it's going to change the world as we know it. My prediction? This is going to be a counter movement to the fourth wave, where women start embracing their femininity instead of tearing down masculinity. Cool, women have joined men in the workforce, but now they've realized that they've lost sight of the things that actually make them strong women, like their warmth, their love, and their ability to nurture the people in their lives. They're realizing that they're now in debt to sexual liberation and hookup culture. It ruined them, and now they're realizing that competing with men resulted in no fulfillment whatsoever. They just serve their male boss instead of the man in their home. All for what? 12 weeks of paid maternity leave? Yeah, you could keep that. Feminism destroyed the traditional family and the natural dynamics between men and women. And now women are waking up. We're going to see a fifth wave, and the women that lead it will be the ones that recognize masculinity maintains society, while femininity maintains life. Welcome to the fifth wave, my guys.
All right. So that's pretty cool. What she just said, that gave me goosebumps. What she's saying is right. Did you hear what she said at the end? Feminine masculinity maintains civilization and femininity maintains life. And you guys out there, think about your ladies in your life. Think about the life, the nurturing that they provide. Think about the old days when people, the men went out and hunted. They were gone hunting. They were also out building things and exploring. And, the women were the backbone, man. They stayed back and they nurtured the children. The men would come back. There'd be food. Their kids would be there to greet them. Everybody would be happy to see the man's face, and it was like, this is what men do, this is what women do. And the women of our modern day, they were sold a pretty hefty piece of BS. I mean, not everybody, a lot of women um got out into the workplace and really have done great, and it's definitely their track, it's their lane, but it's not all women. And what she's saying is that this femininity, did I just say that weird? I'm not going to try to say it again because I know I'm going to say it wrong again. But there, that this version of feminism, I should be saying, is all lies. And there's a young lady who's all fired up, and she's saying, you know, there's there's going to be a backlash. Now, my theory is that if when these ladies hit the floor running, and there's many of them. She's not the only one, that girl right there. There's a lot of things I'm following on social media now where women are stepping up and they're doing some serious stuff. And here's what's going to happen. All these young guys who kind of have lost their masculine edge, they're kind of soft. There's the older generation like me and other people who are, I guess maybe sometimes we make fun of them or we bash them, but I don't think that's what we're really trying to do. I think we're trying to tough love them, like, hey, stop being weak. You got to step up and be strong. You got to lead. You're young. Be a man. Be a man. Stop playing video games and smoking vapes. Well, once these women get out there and start doing what they're doing with this fifth wave of feminism, the men will follow. The men will follow because they're going to see where the ladies are going. And they're going to, what they're speaking is absolute truth. So these guys are going to be like, I like that. I like those ladies. Those ladies are awesome. And then they're going to realize when they get into their company, they got to step up. They got to be men. And how hard is it for a man to be a man? It's not that hard. You just got to listen to what the women need and then go out and kick some butt. So I predict that right behind this fifth wave of feminism, you're going to see this wave of masculinity start to flourish. I mean, there's already this strong backlash, and there's a lot of, tough bearded men, Navy SEALs. There's an author I could think of. He's like always bare chested with a beard, and he's talking about manhood and stuff. And there's people, men, taking $3,000 and going on men's retreats to learn how to be men again, because we're just surrounded with this anti-man type of world, right? So I predict that that's what you're going to see. And once that masculinity takes off, it's going to be like Vikings. It's going to be like Vikings because, that's how things swing, right? They swing hard at first. Like, oh, you want men? We'll give you men. And it'll be, like I said, it'll be Vikings. It'll be guys in beards, lifting weights, talking about doing jujitsu, farming, hunting, fishing, going to church. It'll be like unbelievable. The powers that be, that these elites, these weirdos who want to transhumanize humanity, they want to conquer the innate nature of humans. There's feminine and then there's masculine. They don't want that. They want everybody the same. They want gender fluid, everything the same. They don't want there to be differences because these are the foundational differences that make us who we are. Truth, freedom, liberty, pursuit of happiness, God, something higher than us, something bigger than us. What these strange people want to do is use technology to genetically alter us, alter God's creation. You're going to make life better by changing our genes? What are you talking about? They hate God. They hate masculinity. They hate real femininity. I can't say that word. Femininity. They hate it. They abhor it. So I think that, that's where all that is going. And I hope it does go that way. So moving on to my next part here. I run a Facebook account. I don't get a lot of follows on it because I can read it on my screen right now while I'm looking down. It says account warning. I post things and I get an account warning. And then I know Zuckerberg's like, turn down his juice, man. Don't let people see his posts. So, sometimes I write stuff. I mean, I'm using Facebook as like almost like a journal slash place to write it, like an article. I'm trying to write stuff that's backed by some evidence. I use it my practice ground to speak. So I'll do videos on there. I use it as my practice ground to write, to write convincing arguments. And I'm a conservative I would never would say I was a Republican or a Democrat. I don't choose either one. I choose who runs on a conservative framework. And unfortunately, I don't really think many of them do. Like hardly any of them. I mean, I know like right now the conservatives are loving Trump, but I don't think he's been conservative enough. If he ever came back, I would like to see him do something about abortion. I'd like to see him do something about offering public schools, where 10 minutes out of the day, kids who want to pray can go into a separate area of the school for 10 minutes and pray. And then, every week, maybe once a week, you do that. And every week, a local priest, pastor, somebody can come and volunteer that 10 minutes just to come in and lead a prayer. And, you rotate somebody in new every week from different churches and stuff. That's my idea. If I was a pastor, I would offer that as a service to schools, Anyway, that would be cool if we got a candidate like that. So that's what I am. I'm a conservative. I'm not into the progressive agenda at all. It's all just ideas, and they have ideas about everything. And their ideas seem to always circle around, it's ideology, right? And it circles around the concept of getting people on board with what they believe. There's like discussion boards that these people have about this, because it's not easy to get people to believe what they want to believe. Most people are skeptical. They know that a lot of this stuff creating a utopia. How? People are so imperfect. You're never going to create a utopia. I mean, unless you want to genetically alter their genes and put some type of cyber link into their brain and then make everybody like an automaton, and then they do exactly this or do exactly that. Or like in China, they use a social credit system, and if you've smoking a cigarette and you flick it on the ground, you lose a point. So you better be careful how you behave. That's their idea of trying to create utopia. So they're taking all these citizens, monitoring them as they walk down the street. There's nobody could hide from the camera. And the idea is they're going to have a flourishing society because everybody's doing the right thing. There's nobody doing anything bad, criminal, or anything like that. And that's just an idea. That's just an ideology. It's just craziness, because what it does is it just creates a surveillance state. So now the government has this ultimate control over everything. And it gets abused. It gets abused every time because the people who are running it are not perfect. They're going to abuse it sooner or later. And then millions of people die because that's communism. So getting back to what I was saying about Facebook. So I kind of wanted to include this into doing these videos because I write stuff. It's relatively short. I don't really spend too much time writing. I get right to the point because I know people don't want to sit there and read a wall of text. But here you go. This is something I just wrote, and I'm going to finish off with this and keep it to about 25 minutes. Okay, here we go. I get it. A lot of Christians don't go around talking about their faith and keep private, aware that not everyone wants to hear about Jesus every 2 minutes. But I think it's time for Christians to start doing the opposite. This is why. Every person will find something to worship. If it's not God, then what? Money, porn, gambling, gay pride, government, communism, pro stars, pop stars or sports stars, or even themselves. And the list goes on and on. You know, there's greater minds than me out there, and they all kind of say, like, you know, we have a need to worship something. We have a need to believe in something higher than us. And we have a God-shaped hole in our heart, and we want to fit something in that hole so that we have that feeling. So if it's not God, you're going to put something else in there. You're going to find something to worship because this is what we do. I will go as far as to say, I don't know if I would get in trouble by saying this by my pastor at church or whatever, but if you listen to what I just said and you doubt that there's God, that there's heaven, fine. But what I'm saying is that something in us genetically requires us, pushes us to go worship and find something to idolize. Okay. So I'm not saying I'm trying to take your point of view. Okay, fine. You don't believe there's God. I'm not going to argue that point. What I'm saying is, do you believe, though, that people seem to find stuff to worship? Okay. So out of that whole list of things that I just gave you that people like to worship, those aren't good things to worship. It leads to degenerate behavior, you know? When people worship money, they kill each other for it. When people watch porn all the time, it degrades their relationships. When people gamble all the time, look what happens. They might have to do crime to make the money back that they just lost at the, in Atlantic City. I mentioned gay pride. Gay pride goeth before a fall. What are you proud of? You're proud that you have sex with the same sex as you. I'm not proud I have sex with an opposite sex person, with a woman. Okay. I'm proud that I was able to marry a woman and have a family. But even I try to keep that pride to a minimum because pride goes before a fall. But gay pride is, to me, it's like, what do you need to express your gayness? Like, what's with the rainbows and the parades? And nobody cares. Nobody cares who you're having sex with. We really don't. Christians will say, oh, well, if you're gay, you're not going to go to heaven. Let's leave that one to the side for now. I'm just saying, nobody cares who you're having sex with. So just keep it to yourself. All right, let me continue. So just recently in the NHL, they wanted all players to wear rainbow in support of gay pride. And a player from Russia who is Catholic said no, and he won't do it. That's all he said. He said he won't, but will stand by while everybody else does. That's it. He just wanted to abstain from it. Of course, he is now painted as a terrible and hateful person for this because he disagrees. Because his faith in God won't allow him. And he believes in his faith. That's his belief. We live in a country where everybody is supposed to have access to their own beliefs. And for this to happen is ridiculous. Now, what would happen if instead they wanted everyone to wear crucifixes and pray to Jesus? How many people would be offended by this? The double standard is unreal. So this is why Christians need to step up while others are letting their freak flag fly. We need to remind everyone that the Lord Jesus Christ died for their sins, and all they need to do is believe and repent, and they will be saved. So that, that's the way I see it. And I'm sure a lot of other people would agree with it. Hardworking people, they go to church or whatever. Everybody leaves each other alone. All of a sudden, Christians are getting targeted, persecuted for their faith. And then you have, rainbow flags everywhere, crosswalks on schools, people wearing rainbow flags. Hey, wear anything you want. It's free country. But I'm going to wear my crucifix. I'm going to go to church, and I'm going to pass you by. Just if you want to talk and be respectful, I'll do that. I'm not hateful of anybody. What I just don't like is how it seems now everybody's hating on Christians. So I'm speaking up. Let me know what you think. Make a comment down below, and make sure you subscribe and follow to this. I'm going to pop these out, try to do a lot of them. We'll see how it goes. As always, my name is Fred Moore. See you at the next one.